Let's get started, people. This is the first ever edition of I don't even know what it's called, but this is
Not
Red
yet,
Deer.
yeah.
Not yet, but this is Red Deer TV, and this is just one of the few segments that we're going to be having on Red Deer TV. We're going to be talking to personalities. We're going to be having documentaries and what have you. We're just going to have a whole lot of fun on Red Deer TV. So that's the concept. And on one of our very first editions, I'm very privileged to be talking to someone I would like to consider a brother of mine. His name is John, SonofDavid.
Yep.
Yeah, so thank you very much for
Thank you
the
for
honor.
having me.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
can you tell the folks a little bit about yourself?
I was born and raised in East Africa, Kenya, but actually most of my adult I've been in Canada.
Oh, cool.
Moved here when I was 21 years old.
Oh, cool.
In Winnipeg. Yeah, very cold. And then, even when I moved to Alberta, people don't think it's as cold as Winnipeg.
Yeah.
It is cold,
I
trust
hear- I
me.
hear
It's
mad
very
cold out
cold,
there.
yeah. So, you find something to keep yourself busy with after work and stuff.
Yeah,
And
like girls,
comedy is
like
there.
women, like big fat
No,
girls,
no,
girls with big
no.
fat. Because there's
No,
a
just
phenomenon
comedy is good, yeah.
because there's a phenomenon like everybody believes every black guy likes big fat women. I'm like,
Yeah.
are you one of those guys? Like, I'm a black guy and I like big fat women. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. Do you like big fat women?
My culture is different, man. It's a misconception. I always bring that on stage. I don't know which one of you guys started this. It was the way I grew up. It was if you got married to a girl, and this is Africa. So in Africa, if you're rich, if you have money, you eat well.
Yeah.
If you're
So you have to have the
stressed,
pot belly
because
and
you
all
don't
that.
have money, you're stressed. You don't have food, you lose weight,
Yeah.
and that was bad for you.
Yeah.
So if you gained weight, that was a good reputation.
Yeah.
So if your wife gained weight, and then it got here, and he's like, "Oh, you love fat women?" Like, no, we love regular women and make
Well,
them
there-
fat.
yeah.
We like to make them fat on our own.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, that's it. So, as part of our tradition here, to loosen our tongue so that we can, talk proper and not hold anything back,
Yeah.
we do shots. So, me and my brother John, SonofDavid, will be doing some shots right now.
Oh, thank you.
And we'll be
This is
toasting.
apple juice, right?
Well, the
Yeah.
shots of apple juice, and we'll be
Okay.
toasting to our first ever edition at Burgundy's. Yeah.
Cheers, man. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
I usually
That's
do like.
warm. Yeah.
I usually do like 2 shots of that before I start
Okay.
anything. Then
Yeah.
some bottle of Heineken.
It's a good tradition, especially in winter.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yes, and a big shout out to Burgundy's. They're letting us host talks here, and I'll also be talking to Desiree, one of the owners of Burgundy's.
Good stage. They have,
Yeah, exactly.
quite a
So,
stage over there.
just tell me a little bit about how you got into comedy.
Actually, all my life back in Africa, I used to write comedy plays for my school.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was in high school. But before that, I used to do. We used to have music for schools. They have music competitions, tradition music, tradition dances.
Yeah.
But because I can't dance for shit for a black person,
Come on, you're a black
I used,
person, man.
and I used to be so tiny, so I used to be up front, just making funny
Yeah,
moves,
yeah,
like
yeah.
Big stomach
Like
kind
and
of
all
thing,
that, yeah,
and moving around, making people laugh.
Yeah.
And that's since I was like 4. So in high school, I had the opportunity to run a drama club,
Yeah.
and and so I became a writer. But in high school, all my high school, I wrote plays and performed them, had actors perform them. Then when I lived in Winnipeg, I used to do comedy, but not in person. I used to write to the
Okay.
African community,
Oh, right.
a mostly Kenyan community. It was called Friday Humor. So every Friday for about 10 years, I would send out jokes. Some were, stories from home, politics, anything, life every day, just to cheer people up. And it got so popular that sometimes if I didn't send it, and 2 days went by, I'd get emails and nobody.
hey,
I was
like, hey,
anonymous for
yeah.
most of the time.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Until I put some inappropriate joke there, and then I had to come out and apologize.
When
But yeah.
when I started comedy myself, I was so scared.
Yeah.
I was scared that what would happen if people didn't laugh to my joke. So the first few times I went on,
Yeah.
thanks to Ryan Short,
Yes,
I had
good
to
guy, good man,
good
yeah.
guy. So I had to go on with a face mask.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I wouldn't mention my name. I'll tell them I was the Black Panther
Yeah.
or some crazy thing. And then I started reminding myself of the reasons why I got into comedy, because I got into comedy because I thought other guys were not just funny enough and I could do better.
Okay, yeah.
And, you know, so it was pretty much fun. Then I went to, I think it's called the Underdog or something
Okay,
in Edmonton.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I was so wasted. I just puked all over the stage, man.
Wow.
I was messed up.
During your set?
Yeah, it was my, I puked for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And told jokes for 30 seconds.
Yeah. Wow.
It was my favorite.
Yeah.
And after that time, that was when I recognized that nobody gave a fuck.
No.
You know, I'm like, I
Yeah.
should just go up there and just do my thing. Because people were coming up to me and saying, whoa, what a great set.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I was busy puking
Throwing
out my,
up.
yeah,
Ah,
I was
yeah.
high, I was drunk, I was doing all that. They were like, great set, great set.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, son, from
It
now.
could become your thing. You just, you know,
Yeah,
get
just go
wasted,
there, just
start
go
puking
puke
out.
it and that kind of thing now, you know?
Good TV.
Yes, but how would you say, how would you describe the atmosphere and comedy in Alberta generally?
I started this 5 years ago, 2014, here. That's when I
Wow,
moved
that's
here.
been a while.
And I went to Heritage Lanes. There was a buddy of mine, his name was Josh, took me there one day. I was just in a bad mood. I had a bad day, and we've been working together. So, would you like to come to comedy? And I was hungry, and they said, if you go on stage and do even just 2 minutes, you know, you get a steak and a drink. I'm like, I will be right there. So I did. But what I found out from the get-go, because there were not African or black comics here in Red Deer at the time, if you brought up racial comparison, which is my big thing, is doing cultural comparison, and the people didn't want to laugh, they didn't understand at first. It's like they hadn't seen black people, which was odd. And if a white person was on stage and said something relatively, you know, didn't have to be racist, stereotypical, they would laugh no matter how funny he was, and they would look back to see if I was laughing, you know. So, and it took time. We had to have headliners from Edmonton who have done this for years, or Calgary, come over here and tell the crowd, it's okay to laugh, he's laughing, look back there. Like, I have this really good friend of mine, Mike Dambrad, and it was actually in this room, he just gave them hell, like, what do you think? I haven't thought about this, he's laughing, look at him, he's dying back there.
Yeah,
and slowly they got used to me.
Yeah.
Slowly they got to me. But comics too, they would see me, you know, in the room, and they kind of water down their
jokes
stereotypical jokes,
Yeah.
which kind of that's what offends me.
For me, I
I'd
think
rather you go over there, say what you
for
think.
me, I'm like, that's the problem I have with comics in Alberta, especially the ones in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Because I started out comedy in Edmonton, and then I moved out to Red Deer here. And I'm like, I will troll these guys on Facebook all the time.
Yeah.
Because they're comics, but they don't even have a sense of humor. You know, I'm like, I will go on stage and make fun of my accent and my African heritage, and we all have a laugh about it, right?
Yeah. It's all we
But
got.
yes, but then they're afraid to say something back to me about my African culture or something like that. But I'm like, dude, I'm African. There's nothing that's gonna change that.
That's true.
And for them, like there was a girl. I think what's her name again? Her name is Lisa. She runs the Empress, the room at Empress.
Yeah.
You know, she tells all these jokes about herself being fat and how she lost weight so that she could get dick and some shit like that. And I'm like, you know, that I try to troll her on Facebook and tell fat jokes, and she can't take the fat jokes. And I'm like, why are you on stage telling fat jokes about yourself? Then somebody comes and tells fat jokes about you, you take offense to it. If you're a comedian, you should be able to diss out jokes, and you should be able to take them as well. Like, you know, for a comedian, there's no, I don't think there's any fine line.
Yeah.
It's until you're not funny. If you're not funny, that's when you're being racist.
Yeah,
but
you
if
can
it's-
be very rude to somebody.
Yes, you know, but if
thinking
you
you're
tell a
being funny.
joke that is funny, regardless of, you know, a racial background, sexual orientation, so long as it is funny, it's a joke. You know, so I'm like, I don't really understand why people are uptight sometimes, you know.
I think what I found out, and it became a problem for me after, is as comics, we feel that, you know, like me and you can probably go at it. I'll make fun of you, make fun of me, we'll understand. But then people that we don't know, there's actually lines that I didn't even know, because I assumed you're a comic, I make fun of you and I can. I have come to learn that you can't. Somebody did it to me. Like, we have a guy here who will go on stage and the N-word is like his favorite
Yeah,
word.
I think I know that.
And I
dude,
told
can't remember.
him that, listen, you can say it if you walk up to it. You have a good story that leads up to that. You can't just go over there and just because I mean the crowd start pointing out the N word, N word, this and that.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't find it.
absolutely,
I don't find it
absolutely.
funny. I'm not going to support you.
True that, true that.
And so he wants to say we are friends. Then I realized actually no, you don't know me because you're not listening to me.
Yeah.
And I showed up to a bar and there's other black people behind me that I don't know, so I don't even talk to them. But he starts yapping about the N-word this, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I can't even stay here. I cannot defend you to other people. Me, I understand you're a comic and you're drunk,
Yeah.
but you can't.
But
be
was he
saying
funny?
shit like that? No, that's the thing. He's funny in other things, but to use the way he used the N-word, you asked me? No. It was just like, I hate niggas. I hate black people, like out loud, and he wants to apologize later. I'm like, listen, it doesn't work like that. I don't even care. I'm not even mad at him. It's just, to me, just because we do comedy together, he can't come at me like that. So I have realized that I don't go to other comics and just, I'm gonna attack you.
Yeah, well, you're looking at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe me myself, I might have crossed the line a couple of times.
Yeah.
So
But she might be comfortable
so
doing
Lisa,
the jokes
Lisa
herself,
Baker,
but,
I might be sorry if I do cross the line, but I'm not really sure. I can't even remember for the things I said because I was like the other guy. I was drunk most of the time.
Yeah.
But I love the show called Wild and Out by
Okay.
Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
All they do is take one another up and tear one another apart.
Yeah.
And Nick Cannon pays for that. He pays for people, comedians, to come on stage to
Okay.
tear him apart.
Yeah.
I'm like, he had a very bad marriage with Mariah Carey for almost 2 seasons.
Yeah.
They kept roasting him
I
over
have
this.
seen a clip,
Yeah,
yes,
kept
yes.
roasting him over
Yeah.
this thing. So for
Yeah.
me, I'm like, roasting people is it's a thing. But it's.
And we are very different because for me, I will never be in a roast battle. I can't.
I wouldn't go to a roast battle too, but I will roast.
I know,
still.
but it's because even when people do it for comedy, there's some truth to some of the things people say, right?
Yeah.
And for me, like Red Deer, I can't do it. The comics that know me the most are in Red Deer, right? But they're afraid to go after me. We were talking about that. They're afraid to say stuff to me, and because the crowd, like I said, in Red Deer might think that's kind of mean. I don't want to put them in that situation. I can go on stage and make fun of myself, just like you said, and yourself, and a few people that I know that are close to me. But I realize that that's as much as I can do on that. So every time they have a roast battle, I'm out. Some people have begged me to participate. I'm like, no, you don't want none of that. No.
Absolutely though, because you're right though. You're very much right when you think about it that way. And sincerely for me, I don't really mean any harm, but I just like to tell good jokes, and the jokes I tell are jokes that are things that we live in. If it's not something that I'm experiencing right now, then it's not a joke. I'm not gonna tell it.
I'm able to do that. Things I'm going through in my life, immigration, relationships, but then someone else might, the way they might say it to me, might be kind of mean and
offensive.
or I might actually think it's mean and offensive. So what I was gonna say is, like I don't. You have your own way of seeing comedy, how you want to tell your comedy, and how you want people to
comedy
react.
is subjective.
We have that,
Yeah,
right?
it's very subjective.
So some people, when they make fun of themselves, they are able to do that so they can deal with life, but it still doesn't give us the right, to do it. Because they might not be.
I was telling a joke about how girls that if black people get deported, Jason Kenney and Donald Trump, if they deport all the black people from Canada and America, who's going to take care of all the fat white bitches? I made that joke, and in the process of telling the joke, I even said, "Oh, my girl is big. She's fat." And one of the girls, one of the comedian persons attacked me and said, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have mentioned that my girl is big. And I'm like, my girl was in the crowd. She didn't take offense to that.
If she's okay with it.
Yeah, so in my own opinion, I think comedy is very, very subjective.
It is,
What is funny to me might not be funny to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that does not mean it is not funny.
No.
What is being disrespectful is just totally disrespectful.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might be disrespectful and funny.
Yeah.
But when you're ultimately disrespectful, you're not being funny, then you've lost it. Because even with Lisa Baker, you might not know it. Maybe you're hearing this for the first time. Every time we're going back and forth on Facebook, she's got loads of friends.
Yeah.
sending me direct messages with their laughs and
Yeah.
you know, laughing their head off at her, but she can't
Okay.
really take my jokes. And but I look forward to actually sitting down with her one day,
Yeah.
just like we're sitting down and just talking
Yeah.
about all these things. And you know,
Yeah, she's
it's
actually
it's
one
no
of
big
my
deal.
favorite comics in Edmonton because I don't perform there.
Yeah, at the Empress.
Anywhere in Edmonton, I've
Oh.
never performed there. The travel thing, I don't know, hiding from the immigration. It's better.
What
to
would you
stay
like?
there.
What would you like to drink, bro? Let me buy you a drink.
Uh, I'll see when she comes back. But yeah, you know, she's because they come here, and those are the people like you know, like Ryan Short.
Yeah, I love Ryan
They come
Short.
over here.
I love
Lisa
Ryan Short and
Baker,
Sterling
Mike
Scott.
Dambra, and then
Yeah.
I just watch
Yeah, Mike
them.
Dambra. I think I seen Mike Dambra once too. Some
Yeah.
older guy like this.
Yeah,
he's absolutely
yeah.
hilarious. Like
Yeah.
his stand up is on the go. Like he's
Oh,
on
yeah.
the go. So Mike Dambra too is good. Yeah, there are a bunch of solid comedians out there, and a whole lot of fake ones too. The most
Everybody wants to
yeah,
try,
the most annoying thing. The most annoying thing. Sorry. Can we have some a drink for him? I already have my Heineken here. So
Yeah, sure.
A Heineken as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
That works.
Yeah, thanks.
So I'm like, another thing that pisses me off why I go after those guys is that they like to refer to themselves as pros.
Yeah.
That I'm a pro this and pro that and pro, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what's the definition of a pro again? A professional is someone that gets paid from doing what they do, right?
Yeah.
And these guys come up and start putting down new artists and
you.
saying that they are pros,
Yeah.
and the new artist can't get 10 minutes of stage time,
Yeah.
or you can't headline a show because you don't know what you're doing or something. And I'm
Yeah.
like, is there a possibility that someone started comedy just 2 months ago, and this person
they're
is
good?
funnier than the guys that have been
Yeah.
there for 5 years?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you're a pro, you have to be earning way above minimum wage doing
Mm-hmm.
comedy. That means you're making at least maybe $2,000, $2,500 a month, you know, to
I
pay
don't
your
even
rent.
know how
for-
much they make.
Yeah, I'm
I've
like,
never
for me, I
bothered.
don't. Well, I don't think any Edmonton comedian
Yeah.
makes $2,000 on a regular basis, January to December, every month.
I don't know.
I don't think
I
they
do
do
not
that.
know.
And
Yeah.
until you guys start doing that, before you start referring to yourself as pros, for now we are all up and coming. So I don't care if I started
I think some
6
of
months
these
ago.
people have been like there over 10 years though.
Yeah, I know.
I know
I
some
know.
of them, yeah.
You being over 10 years and still
Yeah.
broke in the industry doesn't make you a professional. This makes you a struggling
I
person
think
that's
we
been in
don't.
the
I think
business for 10 years.
I think we don't give them a chance because we move either with people
Well,
without
and-
experience
yeah.
start going to take gigs from these guys. I think there is also a thing about respect in the industry. It's like when you apply for a job and they ask you for experience, and I don't know again because I don't get a lot of chance to talk to the pros. You know, they are kind
to
of
the
busy.
pros.
Yeah, to experienced comedians. But
Yeah,
I think
that's
they
what,
do
that's
want
what,
that.
that's what I would
that-
like to refer
that
them.
respect.
I would like to refer to them as experienced,
Yeah.
but not as professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got certain amount of experience, but I won't call them professionals.
Yeah.
Like I respect Sterling Scott. I see his hustle, his grind is going from province to province, country to country, doing his thing.
Yeah.
The same thing with Ryan Short, but I'm like a couple of people that have not left Edmonton, you know, still want to come and
Yeah.
tell, oh, I'm a comedian, you can't tell such a joke, I'm a professional, you
Yeah.
can't do this, you can't do that. And I'm like,
Okay.
man, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's about talent. You can have the maddest, the rawest talent
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
come up and kill it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, encourage people and just, you know, let them
Yeah.
get there, you know?
There sure needs to be a lot of encouraging people, right, to do it. But I was like, the way I was thinking about it, the pro thing and amateur thing is like when you go to apply for a job and they ask you how much
The
experience you
yeah,
have,
yeah.
and some people have 5 years, same as comedy. And like I've worked for a company and they want to hire a pro in music or something, and they really don't want, because they're putting up money for it. And you know, it's a big thing because they have people expecting to be entertained.
Yeah.
So they kind of go for the experienced people. You know, for me, I completely understand that. You know, I ran a show here at Bellini's for a bit. I think
Yeah.
I told you. And even them, like I want to bring my friends in, but the manager is like, no, I want funny people. And you know, I had to go look in Edmonton, people that that I have seen, and I think, sure, because it's on my ass if they don't do good on that stage.
Yeah.
Me and you might be good, but then some days we have bad days, right?
Everybody's got bad days.
Yeah,
Every
but when
comedian's
somebody,
got
it's a
bad
business,
days.
they don't want that bad day.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They're not comics. They don't
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah.
They just want something good for their business.
Everybody's got bad days, but one thing that I would like to, you know, the way I see myself as more of as a producer,
Yeah.
promoter than an artist.
Yeah.
Because you should be able to have eye for talents, whether they're fresh or they're old talents.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've seen people that have been doing comedy for 5 years, and every time I'm at their sets, I'm just like,
Yeah,
damn, man.
yeah.
If those guys, you know, in Edmonton were super good, I wouldn't be in comedy today.
Yeah.
I would be so fucking scared. I'll be like, wow, how am I gonna beat that when the whole room is roaring with laughter?
Yeah.
But you know, I see someone that's been in comedy for 5 years go on stage and you've been telling the same jokes for like 3-4 months and nobody's laughing, and you still have the confidence to come up on stage to tell the same jokes.
Yeah.
And you call yourself a pro, then oh come on, we have a problem.
Maybe that's the thing. They are pro that they are willing to be, you know, persistent with their jokes. Because I'm terrible at that. Eh?
Yeah, me
I
too.
am.
For me, I think like I have to have a joke for every season. If it's
Yeah.
Christmas,
Yeah.
there's got to be something that's funny that's happening Christmas, right?
Christmas, yes,
So I have to be able to tell a Christmas joke.
Yeah.
Then come Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
I have to be able to tell a Thanksgiving joke. I was working selling cars, I have to
Yeah.
be able to tell car jokes.
Yeah.
If I'm working at a bar, I have to be able to tell bar jokes. Like
Yeah.
you have to be able to evolve, you know, as a comedian and
Yeah.
just be there. But when you're telling me the same jokes and over again, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So what do you got planned up for 2020, bro?
I was thinking I'll actually travel. I'll try to go to Edmonton. I just came from Calgary last night.
Cool.
I did a show that Juan Fono, he's putting up a show, Jokes and Hood. Yeah, very nice room, tiny nice room. Yeah, I was thinking I was gonna travel more. You are lucky. I see you got equipment and everything, so you got your mind into that. Me, I'm still, you know, small time. I just wanna do it as a hobby. But there's
No,
a
bro,
lot of
bro,
comedians.
trust me, man, it's
There's
a-
a lot of comedians in Alberta.
Yeah, I noticed that there's a whole lot.
There's a whole lot, and like you said, it is true. There's some people that I don't want to be the judge and say some people have no business on stage, because that's up to the audience and their
Yeah, to
world to
decide.
judge. But for me, and like you say, we see things sometimes differently. Doesn't mean we are wrong. We just look at things. It's like churches. Like
Yeah.
thousands of them. They read the same book.
Yeah, but everybody does the
Yeah.
different
So,
things.
like for me, if I hear somebody like, and I'll just name these because they're the people I see the most. Like if I hear Lisa is coming, me and her don't like talk. We don't send each other messages. But if I hear she's here as a comic, I wanna see. You know, for me, the reason I like most of her comedy is that she'll talk about Newfoundland. I've never been there. I've met some people. They talk to
that's
me
where
and I'm
she's
just
from.
staring at them because I can't hear what they're saying. So she makes she makes fun of that, and she gets in trouble, by the way, apparently for making fun of her hometown. So it makes you know, I almost want
Actually-
to challenge
actually met
that
a
I
cou-
want
yeah,
people, I
actually
want
met a couple of
somebody
good
to come
Newfound-
and, you know,
yeah.
challenge me because hey, you've been making jokes about. So you see, I like that. Mike Dunbar is very good with like the crowd.
Yeah, it's a very
So
good
every
crowd pleaser.
I love that. I'd
Yeah.
like to be able to just look at somebody, say hello, and the whole room, you know,
Just- yeah,
laughs
yeah,
about that.
yeah, you know.
And then these guys, no matter what, they come on that stage. If there's 10 people, 3 people, they will
just give
do
it.
their
Yeah,
job.
yeah,
you know,
that's how
they
it's
will
supposed to
do
be.
their
That's how
you
it's
know,
supposed to
sometimes.
be,
Me,
you know?
I stand over there and I start looking and like, oh, how much time
Do I have
I've been
left?
here for like 15 minutes. I've been there for 2 minutes, and I start blabbering. So I know for sure I don't have the experience. Like I said, I've wanted to do comedy for so long, but like you're committed. I have never actually committed to comedy.
Well, sincerely, I would just say I'm just trying to recommit myself.
Yeah.
Because I started comedy, say 2018, and because I was a rapper before that time. I
Okay.
did a whole lot of rap music in Nigeria and in England and all that.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't deal with the fame as an artist.
Okay.
Because everybody wants you to dress good. I can't smoke weed. I can't get in trouble. I can't
Yeah.
do stuff. And everybody was
Yeah.
just on me. So I was like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. But with comedy, I can get away with a whole lot of shit.
Yeah.
And
Unless the other comics kill you
yeah,
first, the way you're going,
yeah,
they're
like
gonna kill you.
they murdered me a whole lot.
They're going
So,
to kill you. Yeah.
so I'm like, I started out with comedy, and I will come. Edmonton is a wonderful place for
Yeah.
someone that's starting out. And a
Okay.
big shout out to everybody running the room in Edmonton. You guys are
Yeah.
doing an amazing
They
job.
actually do, yeah.
That's very, very good.
Yeah.
And there's also room for improvement.
Yeah.
So I did a whole lot of that. And when I moved out here to Red Deer, there were less rooms. and there was less motivation for me to want to run around and do
Yeah.
comedy. So right now, I'm like, I just invested in all this equipment, thinking I can still do comedy by talking to people. We can
Yeah.
still, get a few laughs
Yeah.
in. I'm
Yeah.
not yet there yet. I'm like, you can see with the framing, with the lights and all that, I'm still working on it, trying to perfect
It's better
it.
than I
but-
would do.
Yeah, trying to perfect it, but I'm
Yeah.
hoping that basically 2020, I'm hoping to go even sit down with Lisa Baker like this. We can
Yeah.
talk and laugh over.
It'd be nice, yeah. She's
over,
got a lot
over
to teach,
everything.
yeah.
I would like to apologize for being wrong, or maybe even make more jokes, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'm just a crazy dude. It'd be
Yeah.
awesome if she can sit down with me.
Yeah.
Like if she can
You
sit
should
down
reach
with
out,
me.
yeah. You
Yeah,
should
if she can
reach
sit
out,
down
yeah.
with me, I really love it. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out to a few more
I think
comics.
she's one of them. Personally, I'm like a stalker, I watch people from afar. Like I said, I've never performed in Edmonton, but she's one of those people that she has experience, and she puts a lot of hard work in everything she does, like personal life, comedy.
That's
She
good.
actually works
No,
really
she's got
hard,
she's got some
you know.
good
She's yeah.
got some good followership, and I'm like, I trolled her so much, she blocked me on Facebook.
Yeah.
And she also told people that if they ever have me perform in a room, that she'll never come to the room
Yeah.
anymore. So a whole lot of people on the Lisa Baker wing right now, like,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna invite this guy to perform at the show.
Yeah.
But people, I still don't give a fuck. Just
Who
in case
motivated
don't know.
you to start comedy?
Me?
Yeah. Or
Well,
what?
I would say what motivated me was I would go to Urban Tavern,
Yeah.
and I'll see Sterling Scott and Ryan Short
Very
run
funny
that
guys,
room,
yeah.
because I'll go out there, have a few drinks and stuff. But then, I started going out to other rooms, go to the Empress,
Yeah.
and I was like, damn, these guys are not even funny.
Yeah.
I'll go to the Underdog, and I'm like, man, this guy's headliner. How
Yeah.
come this guy's headlining and no one is laughing?
Experience, yeah.
So I'm like, then I look at my life and I'm like, I'm a Nigerian, bro.
Yeah.
I'm an African.
Yeah.
When we take the experience of our lives and we bring it over here, it's
Yeah.
enough for people to laugh. And I'm
Yes.
like, okay, I'm gonna chop everything up and give it
Yeah.
a shot.
Yeah.
I thought, I was gonna be better than other people, but
People over here, yeah.
when the day came,
Yeah.
I was scared. I had to have a mask on.
It takes experience
takes
and a lot
balls,
of
yeah,
things,
it takes
guts,
balls.
preparations. Yeah.
And one thing I also noticed about comedy is that your joke might be funny, but if you don't land it well,
yeah.
then it's not going to get there.
You
You're
have
not-
to believe in it first
Yes,
yourself
exactly. And
before
that-
you bullshit people with it.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to land it well. Maybe if the word placement, if you don't place the words well,
Yeah.
it may not end up being funny.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's a very,
Yeah.
very technical.
Yes.
It's a sport. It's a very technical sport, and I like it. I enjoy
Yeah.
it. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I find I'm still learning. And like one of our guys here, Clint Work, who works very hard for the radio scene, I think he needs support. He needs
Yeah.
a lot of help.
Absolutely.
Because he's one guy, and now Heritage Lanes is shut down. I know, and he's one guy I see looking around for spots, and we still have a few spots.
Well,
but,
so I think
locations
I
here
think they're
is the
working. Yeah, I
problem.
think they're working on something with Burgundy's right here. So
Okay.
Burgundy's is a wonderful place, great stage, great people.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
be nice thing if we could get comedy going on here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope I'll be sitting down with Clint Work too very
Yeah.
soon. We'll be
Yeah,
having
absolutely.
a
Yeah.
chat and
Yeah.
seeing where it goes.
Oh yeah, and he has a lot of guys that he knows he has worked with for years. They're good. They
Yeah,
just
I-
need more
I
practice,
see,
more
I see
stage
that. I
time,
see
yeah.
that, and also with Bradley Layden.
One of the best guys here.
That's cool
Yeah.
guy too. Very
Yeah.
cool guy.
Yeah.
Long shot comedy.
Yes.
We give you all the support, and
Yeah.
those guys are just
Yeah, he
they're
works.
pretty
Yeah.
much amazing.
Yeah.
Overall though, generally, they're good people.
They
Or
are.
they're generally the good people. I know I'm the crazy person that brings all the beef and all the stupid shit into this,
Yeah.
but you guys are amazing people, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I look forward to making peace with most of you this year and seeing what we can get done.